Hello, everyone. Rhonda Pierce here with SCHMETZ Home Sewing Machine Needles. As you come on, let's say hello to everyone and tell us where you're from. Let me just open up my little chat here so I can see too. Oh, okay, Anita, looks like you're the first one to show up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anita, Jenny. Okay, fantastic. So as you come on, tell us where you're from. We always like to know what city or state you're from or what country you're from. So put that in your little hello marks. So Debbie is here. All right. So where am I? I'm here in the Chicago area. At last, I'm in the Chicago area. Wow, I've been traveling quite a bit the past few weeks, and I'm glad just to kind of settle down and catch my breath for a little bit. So, again, as you come on board, tell us what city or state you're from or what country you're from. So, we like to know where you're viewing from. So, again, my name is Rhonda Pierce. I'm here in the Chicago area. And don't you just love that quilt and those coats, that kimono, that black kimono that's in the background? I really like um, going live here from the office. So, last month, our winner of the SCHMETZ Snippet was Christy Markson from Arizona. And wow, what a great giveaway she won with lots of great prizes. And she sent a nice thank you note saying, thanks for all the goodies and thanks for doing the SCHMETZ Snippet broadcast. So I'm delighted to do that. And here we are again, the first Wednesday of the month at noon Central Time. Okay, so where have I been? Oh my gosh, look at my calendar. I have to color code my calendar just to keep things straight. But I flew into Denver a few weeks ago, met up with my sister and some friends, and did my own personal trunk show. I also did a personal trunk show of garments and quilts and other things with my aunt Mana, in Ogallala, Nebraska. Saw my dad too. And then I scooted along and ended up in Lincoln, Nebraska, where I stayed with my college friend, Cherie. And I used that as my base, visiting with the Nebraska Quilt Company in Fremont, Nebraska, which is where I went live last time. So, what a great store. So, if you're in the Omaha or Lincoln, Nebraska areas, I want to encourage you to drop by the Nebraska Quilt Company. They've got their store used to be a furniture store. And then they have the store next door. So it is huge with great classrooms. They're doing more and more retreats, and they also have a lot of kits. So be sure to check out the Nebraska Quilt Company. So I gave classes there. That was fantastic. And also, while in Lincoln, Nebraska, I visited the International Quilt Museum, which is always glorious. And the exhibit that I was most interested in was Victoria Finley Wolf, or Victoria Wolf Finley. Oh gosh, Finley Wolf with Victoria. And she had a wonderful exhibit called, let's see, what was the name of it? I didn't write it down. But I think it goes through August into early September. So go and to the International Quilt Museum in Lincoln and check that out. Lincoln, Nebraska, that's where I went to college. At that time, it was called University of Nebraska, Lincoln campus. So I did get a bachelor's degree in textiles, clothing, and design. And then after getting my degree, I took the next plane to New York City, where I worked for Vogue Butter Patterns for almost 2 years, and so that was really great experience. I was glad to be back. The motto for Nebraska is the great life, and I do believe that it was great to be there. So after Lincoln, I got into my rental car and scooted through central Iowa, stopped in Conrad, Iowa at Hens and Chicks. And Heidi, who's the owner, she's expanding into a retreat center. So you can go to Hen and Chicks studio and check out if you're from the Midwest. Actually, you don't even have to be from the Midwest. I mean, there when I was talking to not only Heidi at Hen and Chicks Studio, but also Nebraska Quilt Company, they get visitors from all over the country. They fly for hours for retreats at these two locations. So if you're looking to have a retreat, you might give them consideration. All right. Then from Conrad, Iowa, I went to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where I gave my lecture and a trunk show at the ASG Cedar Rapids group. And wow, everyone was just so fantastic. It was really fantastic, a fantastic road trip. And I ended up in the Quad Cities of Iowa to stay with Rita Farrow. And Rita at that time was in the midst of wrapping up details for the Buffalo Bill Best of the Wild West show in LeClaire, Iowa, right along the Mississippi River. So it was fun to get together with her. And then last weekend, I was actually with Rita at the Buffalo Bill show, and I took tickets and I was dressed up in, well, you can't really call them Western wear, but as close as I could get with a Western vibe. Yeah, long dresses. And I just can't imagine wearing, all those, like in the 1800s, early 1900s, wearing those long, heavy dresses in the heat and humidity and wind and, in the wintertime with snow. So I appreciate the gentler clothes that we get to wear now. So I know on Facebook, if you've been on SCHMETZ Needles Facebook this weekend, Rita posted pictures from the Wild West show, and it was really a grand time. And I'm hoping that she has the Wild West show again. So okay. Plus, I've been giving quite a few virtuals, either in my home or here in the office. So finally, since the pandemic, I've crossed that 400 mark. I've given, as of last night, I've given 403 virtual classes for SCHMETZ home sewing machine needles. So special thank you to everyone that's participated or invited me to their guilds or stores. It's been wonderful. Okay, so let's scoot along. Oh yeah, I was also in Detroit for a week, and that's when Bernina had their annual meeting. Uh, Ber, um, uh, Bernina, right along the Detroit River. So that was scenic, and wow, what great energy there was at Bernina University. They introduced a top of the line Bernina 990. Oh my gosh, it's got a full size, almost like iPad mounted on the machine. So if you do embroidery or make any adjustments to your stitches, tensions, etc. It's so easy with this giant screen. So you'll want to check out your Bernina dealer. And of course, SCHMETZ. SCHMETZ works with Bernina machines. Of course, SCHMETZ works with Brother, Baby Lock, Juki, Singer, Husqvarna Viking, Pfaff machines, etc. But I was with Bernina 2 weeks ago, so that was fantastic. And in my newsletter, I included some of my favorite pictures. This was my favorite picture from Bernina University. That's Sue O'Veary of Suki Sews. Of course, she's a fan of SCHMETZ needles. That's Tony of Quilt Tony. Tony's she's on Twitch, and she's a huge fan of SCHMETZ needles, and then Laura Koya of So Very Easy. So if you missed the SCHMETZ newsletter, you can go to schmetzneedles.com, and under resources, you can click the newsletter and read it. And actually, you probably want to subscribe to it too. Okay, so let's scoot along. The blue, oh, yes, in the newsletter, I had that blue bag special, the blue bag special. And that's something we only have in the newsletter. And I just want to quickly show you what the blue bag special is. We still have just a few of these left. So, of course, it's a blue bag, a blue drawstring bag. And this time we concentrated on the top stitch needle. The top stitch needle. Now, if you've heard me talk before about the top stitch needle, you know that the top stitch needle has an elongated eye. So there's less stress on your thread as it's passing through the eye of the needle. So we have a couple new top stitch needles. We have a new top stitch twin, or I should say twin needles in top stitch. We have a 2.5 in size 80, and a little bit wider is a 3.0 in a size 90 needle. So these you can use certainly with your decorative stitches, you can use for embellishing. And if you like to do multimedia quilting, this could be a really fun way to quilt. Like one of the quilts that I finished last year, I really wanted to use a twin needle and put my stitches on the diagonal. So maybe with a future quilt, I'll do that and I'll use the top stitch twin. So you can find these needles at your local sewing machine dealer, maybe some of your fabric stores too. You'll not find these in the big box stores. Okay, also in our blue bag special, we have the new gold titanium top stitch needle. Again, that top stitch needle has that elongated eye, so there's less stress on your thread as it's passing through the eye of the needle. And what's the purpose of the gold? Well, the gold is titanium. Titanium gives the needle extra strength, so it moves through the fabric with less resistance. And also, the thread passes through the eye of the needle with less resistance. So this pack of needle here is a combo size 80-12 and 90-14. So again, these you're going to find the single cards at your local sewing machine dealer. So check those out. In the little blue bag special, which is at schmetzneedles.com, you'll also find a chrome top stitch needle in size 100. Size 100. And one of the questions that Anita asked earlier that she posted on Facebook is, what needle do I use when I'm working with the sulky filine? I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that. Filine, F-I-L-A-I-N-E thread. Well, that particular thread is a 12 weight thread, and it's acrylic and it's kind of textured and nubby. So you want to use a top stitch needle size 100/16. So that's what I would suggest for that special sulky thread. Another possibility would be the super nonstick in a size 100 because that has an extra large eye. But I digress. The blue bag special right here. So you've got a variety of top stitch needles. And of course, the blue bag comes with a little ABC pocket guide and the ever popular SCHMETZ ABC pocket guide. So you can find those over at schmetzneedles.com, or if you've got the newsletter yet, you can just click that link right in the newsletter and it'll pop right up. So, yep, makes a nice little gift. All right. So, gosh, you know what question I want to ask you here today is, what SCHMETZ needle do you currently have in your machine? What SCHMETZ needle do you currently have in your machine? So put that in the in your post on Facebook or YouTube or Restream. I can't see if we've got people on Restream, but go ahead and post that in the chat below. All right. What am I sewing? You know what? I haven't had time to sew. In my mind, I'm organizing a big sewing project that I think is going to take me over a year to do. So I've written out an outline. It is a type of quilt, but it's so much more than that. And I don't want to reveal too much, but I am working on it. So I'm hoping that in late July and August, and then in November when it's cold out, hopefully, and I don't feel like going outside, I can work on that project with diligence. So stay tuned for that. So let's look at the giveaways for today, because I've got some wonderful giveaways from some of our industry friends. You know, I'm a huge fan of Shannon Fabrics. I love this color palette. Aren't these fun summer colors? And as I'm talking, I can see that a variety of you're telling me what needle type and size you've got. Tell me both the needle type and also the size of needle. So when you're working with your Shannon Fabrics, this cuddle fabric, which is ever so soft and cozy, you're going to use a stretch 9014. So in the giveaway today, I have stretch 9014 in the giveaway, so you can make this up. This little kit here is called Positive Vibes. Positive as in P-A-W. Let's see, P-A-W, because on the fabric, there's little paw prints. So isn't that cute? Yes, I could. That would be fun for me to make up. And now that I think about it, you know what? The color goes with my shirt today. All right, from my friend Judy. If you're interested in making your own clothes with your own pattern, this is a great resource. This is the Design It Yourself Fit Nice workbook. And I've taken Judy Kessinger's class several times in person. I am certified, but I haven't had time to teach. So I have this workbook. Also, I need to refresh. I've made t-shirts and quilts, etc. But Judy takes it so much further with all of her embellishing, etc., and different design lines. So Design It Yourself. Thank you, Judy, for providing the Fit Nice workbook. And if you're online, Fit Nice Systems, Judy has a really great community. They like to show and tell what they make, etc. So you might consider that group. Well, earlier I mentioned my friend Tony of Quilt Tony, and she has this quilt that looks digitized, but they're quilt pieces, and this is the Fantasy Mermaid, by Quilt Tony. Also, from our dear friend Mary Malari, I have the half and half apron. I think this is her newest pattern from last year, half and half apron pattern, and it can be reversible. And you know, Mary's very efficient with her writing, her designing, and with her teaching. And with her sewing skills. So very efficient pattern. From our friends at Timeless Treasures, wow, look at this. Look at these squares here. These are 10-inch squares. And I don't know how many colors are in here, but there's a lot. There's a full palette of colors. So somebody's going to have a lot of fun with these Timeless Treasures. This one here is called Live Boldly. It's Charisma Horton. Timeless Treasures, 10-inch squares. I've got an issue of the quilt Quick and Easy quilts, so that will be good. And let me see. Of course, I've got a cadre of SCHMETZ needles. So I don't think I'm going to show them all. Well, I'm going to pull them out. So these are the project driven packs. So they have names like piecing and quilting, where you'll have both the microtex and the quilting needle. There's there's home deck. There's sewing with fleece. There's felt and crafting needles. And then the one that's titled, let me pull this one out. This one here is titled vinyl. Well, these not needles are not vinyl, but all of these 8 packs of needles are project driven. So if you're sewing on vinyl, this is the super nonstick, super universal needle. Use this on your vinyl. Use this super nonstick, super universal also for your machine embroidery, machine applique, vinyl, splash fabric, oilcloth, and hoop and loop tape. So lots of great needles here to use. Also, from our friends at Taylor Seville, I've got the Magic Awl, and I'll have to tell you, the awl is one of my favorite sewing tools. So this awl here has an extra thick handle, so it's easy to maneuver. We have the wrist grab it, the wrist grab it. And what I want to say about the wrist grab it, this is related to the grab it magnetic pin cushion. When you strap this onto your wrist, you want the magnet to be here on the underside of your wrist, opposed to sitting on top. When you have it on the underside, it's not going to slip and slide on your wrist, and your pins will just easily flick right onto your wristband. We've got the bobbin saver squares, both the jumbo version for your larger bobbins and a blue for your regular home sewing machine bobbins. And last but not least is the MyPad, the MyPad needle organizer. And when I was looking at the comments this morning, there were a few of you that said, "Oh my gosh, I finally bought the Grab It MyPad needle organizer," and you love it. So thank you for mentioning that in your comments. That means a lot. I do go in and read all of the comments. This you're going to find at your local sewing machine dealer. Let me see. I do have one here. I can just show you the header, so you know what you're going to be looking for. This is what it looks like. It'll be hanging on the wall at your local sewing machine dealer, maybe some of your fabric and quilt shops too. What it is an extra thick, it's 7.5-inch square felt, and then I updated it during COVID, so all your SCHMETZ needles are on here using the color codes, and then there's a cell for all the different needle sizes for that particular type of needle. So it's a nice way, an easy way to organize your slightly used needles. I keep mine leaning against my light source right there next to my sewing machine on my table. It has a little flower head pin. So if you've got some of the older SCHMETZ needles that aren't color coded, again, once you take the needle out of the pack and you put it in your machine, just identify the needle in your machine with the flower head pin. So lots of goodies here today. So today, our winner for the giveaway is random. It's a random winner. Oh, okay. So Stephanie says that she has the MyPad. It's very useful and very handy. Anita's got it. She loves it. Let me see. Anita says she has a tomato on the wristband, but she's going to try the wrist grab it. All right, so let's see what kind of needles everyone has currently in their machine. Stitched in Purple has the SCHMETZ Microtex 8012. Awesome. Joyce is asking, does SCHMETZ have a stretch needle for the serger? Well, some sergers you can use a regular home sewing machine needle. I know that on my serger, Well, here's what you need to do. With your serger, no matter what the brand is, you need to open up that front cover. And inside should be a sticky or a label or an imprint that will tell you what needle system to use. Many of the older sergers say to use ELX 705. That is a specific needle for sergers. But I also know, because that's what my serger says, but I also know from my serger experts that sometimes I can use a regular home sewing machine needle in my serger. So if I'm serging on a knit fabric, I will sometimes use a regular stretch needle, probably a size 90-14. If my stitches don't look great, then I'm going to go back and use what the manufacturer suggests, an ELX 705. So Joyce, SCHMETZ does not have a needle for the serger that specifically says stretch, but they do have ELX 705 that some sergers require. So keep that in mind. Patrick has a SCHMETZ Stretch 9014. Linda has SCHMETZ Microtex 7010. Oh my goodness, Microtex. Kathleen, oh hi Kathleen. Kathleen has the SCHMETZ Microtex 80. Let's see, here's a question. Hassan is asking, I wonder why industrial needles don't use the color codes as I can see on the stand behind me. It would be a great visual help. Yeah. Well, I don't know the specific answer for that, Hassan, but I'm guessing because industrial needles, probably you're using a specific needle system, like maybe it's a 134R, 135, X17, etc. And for industrial machines, you're limited just to a specific needle system. So it's probably an extra step, putting the color code that I'm guessing they don't feel is needed. But yeah, good question, and I don't quite know the answer. I know we had to work really hard just to get the color coding on our home sewing machine needles. Debbie has the SCHMETZ embroidery 7511. Marianne has Microtex 8012. Lynn has Universal 8012. Fantastic. Oh, here, Cynthia's got the jeans size 100. And Sally has, the jeans gold needle. She's making rope balls. Yeah. The gold jeans needle, size 116, is a great choice when you're making those heavy rope balls. You know, those balls where they coil around and around and around. So, one of the features of the jeans needle is that the blade is reinforced. A reinforced blade means there's less needle deflection when the stitch is created. So that gold jeans, and the gold gives extra strength from the titanium coating. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Okay. Anita's using, embroidery 9014. Okay. Awesome. Well, there's even more people who are participating. So I want to say thank you to each of you for participating. All right. Well, let me see. If there are more questions, go ahead and pop those into the chat, and I'll try to grab those. Earlier, Gail had asked what needle to use when stitching lace on a veil. Lace on a veil. So it kind of depends on, is it a stretch lace? Is it a cotton lace? So if it's a stretch lace, I'd probably use a stretch needle, and depending, I'd probably use the 7511 for a finer lace. If it's a little bit hardier, I might go up to the 9014. If it's just a regular cotton or maybe a synthetic, I might use a universal needle. So fabrication makes a little bit of a difference as to what needle type and size to use. Okay, so in the little ABC pocket guide, I'll just go ahead and mention this, and you can download this into your phone, and also you can go to smetsneedles.com to download this into your phone, or you can actually print this out. In the back is on the back inside cover is an alphabetical listing of fabrics. So let me see if lace is listed here. Lace. Okay. Lace, it says selected by fabric type, anywhere from a size 70-10 to a 90-14. So again, it would depend on whether it's a knit, a stretchy, a lace, or a woven. So I hope that is helpful. Stitched in Purple is asking, what needle do you recommend for piecing quilts with 50 weight cotton or poly thread? For 50 weight thread, well, I generally like to use an 80-12 needle for piecing, and my favorite needle is a Microtex 80-12. So I will use that with 50 weight thread, but every once in a while I might have to size down to a Microtex size 70-10. So sometimes you just have to do some sample stitches to determine what the best needle type and size is. So, yeah, 50 weight cotton or poly. Yeah, I generally use a Microtex 80-12 or 70-10. So I hope that is helpful for you. Let's see. Does SCHMETZ make a ballpoint twin needle? A ballpoint twin needle. Oh gosh. And I'm going to say yes, but let me just look at my information so I give you the correct information. Twin needles. There is a twin stretch needle. So yes, the stretch needle has a medium ballpoint. So the stretch twin comes two ways, a 2.5 in a size 75 and also a wider 4.0 in size 75. So yes, the stretch needle, which has a medium ballpoint, comes as a 2.5 size 70 and also a 4.0 size 75. Good question. Thank you, Bobby. Let's see. All right. So, one of the things that I'm working on right now is the holidays. Over the years, I think we've provided some really wonderful. Oh, wait, there was one other question. Oh, Jana. Jana had asked about needles to use in the Singer featherweight or a featherweight machine. And with featherweight machines, generally you can use a regular home sewing machine needle. So universal, microtax, super nonstick, jersey, stretch, embroidery, etc. So one source of information that you might want to follow up with is the website singer-featherweight.com. Or if you Google the featherweight shop, it'll pop up. And that is Carmen and April. They have the featherweight shop in Idaho. They have a store and they have a strong online presence. And they have lots of information on featherweight machines and all the accessories, etc. So again, their website is Singer featherweight.com. So give them a try. All right. So let's scoot along. So I'm thinking Christmas. Are you thinking Christmas already? Well, Christmas in July, but I'm thinking Christmas later in the year, or holidays for later in the year. Over the years, we've provided some wonderful tins, and I'm looking for other ideas of what you would like as a special SCHMETZ gift for later in the year. So this was the first tin that I introduced about Oh, that'd be 4 Christmases ago, 3 or 4 Christmases ago. This is a 9.5 inch tin. The Rabbit My Pad fit in here, and then we also supplied needles. So it was a nice package. I think it sold for about $79. So, did you like this idea? Do you want something similar? And we did this tin here. This is 7.5 inch tin. And again, this one came, let me open it up. Open it up. This one came with a bob and saver square. I don't recall if it was red or blue, doesn't really matter. Came with a bob and saver square and a variety of needles. So all of these tins sold out during the holidays. In fact, I think they all sold out in mid-November. So I'm looking for other ideas. What would you like to see as a giveaway? Well, not a giveaway. You're going to have to buy it. This is the one that we did at Christmas time. It's a little bit smaller footprint, a little bit narrower. And for last year, it came with a chocolate bar. With multicolored sprinkles. And I'd like to say, oh, those were the SCHMETZ color-coded sprinkles in this chocolate bar. And then we were able to get some more of these tins, and I offered them at Mother's Day, filled with a variety of needles. So if you've got an idea, I'm collecting ideas right now. Price-wise, probably anywhere from like $29, no more than $80 retail is what we're looking for. So if you've got an idea for a SCHMETZ holiday gift, put it in the chat because I'll be reading all of your comments later. Okay, let me see if there are any. Okay, Christy's saying she'd like to see the round tin come back. Oh, Lynn says a heart-shaped tin. Oh, that's a good one. I haven't seen any heart-shaped tins, but I'll have to see if I can find one. Let's see. Jenny says, does SCHMETZ have a tin that would fit needle pack standing upright? Oh, good idea. You know, I just introduced a countertop display for stores. And it's got slots for 9 different types of needles, but that is for stores. I don't know, and that's not tin. That's actually a heavyweight cardboard for a retail display. I wonder if that would be something that you'd like. That's a good idea. Thank you, Jenny, for mentioning that. Okay, Marianne says mini toolbox with inserts. Yeah, for the needles. You know, I have to tell you that last year I did look at some toolboxes with inserts where you could change the sizes of the little interior boxes, and you know, it was just going to be too expensive, so I nixed that one. Barbara says she'd like to organize her needles upright also. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for these really great ideas. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. So I'm going to, where am I going to be this month? Well, this month, I am going to be, next week, I'm going to be in Wisconsin. So you may or may not know that in January, I had agreed to give 2 classes at the So Many Quilters, So Many Places pieces in I think it's Richfield, Wisconsin. And while I was driving up in January, guess what? All the schools closed in that community, so my classes were canceled. So we decided to reschedule for July. So Tuesday of next week, I'll be in Richfield at So Many Quilters, So Many Pieces, giving 2 classes. I think that's an AM, a 10:30, and maybe a 6 or 6:30 class. Then I'll be scooting along the next day. I'll be in Ripon, Ripon, at Bungalow Quilting with Judy. And we're having a little pizza party get together, and then I'll be doing my lecture and trunk show. And then on my return trip back to Illinois, I will be stopping in Northern Illinois in Carpentersville at Sewing Concepts, where my friend Linda has two stores, one in Woodstock and the other in Carpentersville. So I'll be there in Carpentersville at 1 o'clock. So um, then I'm going to take a week off later in July, and maybe I can catch up on some home projects, and maybe just get wrangle in my home sewing projects too. So today's winner of the giveaway was random, and the winner is Kathy McKenna of Gastonia, North Carolina, outside of Charlotte. Kathy says that she uses a SCHMETZ Universal 8012 needle currently in her machine. So, Kathy, McKenna, you're the winner from Gastonia, North Carolina. Send me an email at info@schmetzneedles.com. Send us your shipping address. Tell us you're the winner, and we'll get those goodies shipped out. Probably not today because UPS and Federal Express have already picked up. So it'll ship out on Friday when we reopen our office. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here today and providing comments. I'm going to skip the August SCHMETZ virtual, but I'm going to come back in September. In September, that first Wednesday, I think it's September 3rd, I'll be at the Great Wisconsin Quilt Show, and I'll have special guests. So I'm really looking forward to that. So you've got some time to finish a lot of sewing and quilt projects, and I'm going to want to hear about them when I come back online that first Wednesday of September. So if you're here in the States, I want to say have a safe and joyous 4th of July. Eat well, eat all those red, white, and blue cupcakes. And be safe around the fireworks. So until next time, thank you for being here, and thanks for using SCHMETZ needles. See you next time. So SCHMETZ.